Hello everyone. In the previous video we have already learned about motion of the charged particle in the presence of the magnetic field when its velocity is perpendicular to the field. Now in this video you will understand the helical motion of the charged particle in the magnetic field. So this is our case 2. So we'll write down case 2 when velocity of the particle is not perpendicular, it makes an angle with the magnetic field. So what we have considered is that we have a coordinate system. Let us say this is the direction of magnetic field and this is our y-axis, this is our z-axis, and we have assumed that the particle is making an angle, the velocity vector is making an angle with the magnetic field, that it is not perpendicular to the field. So let us say it is making an angle theta. Now this velocity will have two components. So this component which is perpendicular, we will write it as V perpendicular, and the component which is parallel to the magnetic field, we will write it as V parallel. So we have two components of the velocities, and we have already learned in the previous video that when velocity is perpendicular to the magnetic field, then because of this, the particle moves in a circular path. It moves in a circular path. This is what we have learned in the previous video. But since in this case, there is also a component which is making it move in the direction of the magnetic field, because V parallel is in the direction of magnetic field. So instead of moving in a circular path, it will try to move in a path like this, It will move in the forward direction also, and it will move in a circular path also. So this kind of motion is known as the helical motion, and whenever a charged particle enters a magnetic field with V at an angle to B, then the motion of the particle is the helical motion. Now in this helical motion we can find out how much is the distance A to B traversed in one circular path, which is the linear distance. The linear distance moved in one circular path. So how much this distance will be? Distance is always equal to velocity multiplied by time. So the velocity here you can see is V parallel, and the time it will take to complete one circular path we have already derived in the previous case. It was 2 pi m by qb, and therefore the distance is V parallel into 2 pi m by qb. This distance is also known as pitch, which is the linear distance moved by the particle in one circular path when the velocity is making an angle with B. Now we want to understand the relationship of the motion of the charged particle in the magnetic field with a very beautiful phenomena which is known as aurora borealis, and this phenomena is spectacular. Wonderful lights are seen in the northern hemisphere, and people generally go for camping and see these beautiful lights which are there spread all over the sky. And we will now understand why this phenomena happens. So I'm just erasing this and writing down the name of the phenomena, that is aurora borealis. Now to understand aurora borealis, first of all we will have to understand why this happens. So let us say this is our earth and this is the axis of the earth. For example, let us say this is the geographic north and this is the geographic south. Now we already know that where we have geographic north, we have magnetic south, and here we will have magnetic north. So if I draw the magnetic field of the earth, I can draw like this. the magnetic field pattern around the earth can be drawn like this. And because it is magnetic south, so lines will be entering, here lines will be going out and entering into the magnetic field like this. Now at the time of solar flare, a large number of charged particles are ejected out in the atmosphere, actually near the sun, and these charged particles, they get trapped after traveling a long distance, they get trapped in the Earth's magnetic field. So when a charged particle gets trapped in the Earth's magnetic field, because it can make any angle with the magnetic field. So let us say V is perpendicular to B, V may not be perpendicular to B, anything can happen. So when in the case when V is not perpendicular to B, the charged particle will acquire a helical path and these charged particles will move like this. And since these field lines are converging over here, so what will happen is that these particles will come very, very close to each other and they will collide with the particles of the atmosphere, in which our major composition is the nitrogen gas and the oxygen gas. So when they will collide with nitrogen and oxygen gas molecules, these gaseous atoms will be excited. And upon excitation, after some time, again you know the phenomena, there is a de-excitation also. So de-excitation takes place, and during de-excitation light is emitted out. So nitrogen emits pink light and the oxygen atoms, they emit green light. So the green and pink color, it dominates over the sky, and these lights are wonderful. It's a very beautiful phenomena that is observed in the northern hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, it is known as aurora borealis, and this phenomena is also seen in the southern hemisphere, but there it is not known by the same name. The name there is aurora australis. So this is how it goes. There's a beautiful pattern. People go for camping to see these lights, and you can watch these videos in the YouTube, and you can enjoy how people see and how aurora borealis is spread all over the sky, and it looks beautiful. Then after the discussion of aurora, today we'll be learning one more concept, and that is the concept of a particle accelerator. I have also discussed this in my previous video, that we'll be learning how a particle accelerator works. And what is a particle accelerator? Why do we want to use it for? So I'm just erasing it, and we'll be learning about a particle accelerator.